Yorvo Lord of Garenbrig versus Golos Pilgrim, Saheeli the Gifted, and Greven Predator Captain. Well, that's not the greatest hand, but we'll keep it because we've got lands, and hopefully we can get ourselves into a Tireless tracker and take advantage of the fetches. Alright, we don't get into any ramp unfortunately. Let's just get down a land. Looks like we're going to be limping up to our Tireless tracker. A Swiftfoot Boots from Greven. That is 5 mana to cast, so when Greven comes down it will have haste. Assuming that our opponent holds up mana for that, which I'm sure they will. Saheeli just passing the turn straight over to Golos. And Golos passing the turn as well, so it looks like none of us. Oh, wow. Yeah, not drawing too well. We will get into a strip mine. Just in case we draw into a basic next turn, we can go Tireless Tracker and then start going for the fetches after that. Because Tireless Tracker does have landfall effectively, so the more lands he sees enter, the better. Coalition Relic from Greven. So if they put a charge counter on that, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 if they want to tap it down next turn, then play a land and equip Greven with the Swiftfoot Boots. That's a line of play our opponent could absolutely go for. Saheeli struggling on blue mana and deciding to just pass straight over again. Golos is only 2 colours away from their 5 colours now. And they are passing over as well, so looks like it's only Greven that's really doing anything. Let's get our Tireless tracker on the go. We have not drawn into a land. And hopefully we'll be able to start investigating next turn. A charge counter going on the Coalition Relic at the end of our turn. We've got a friend of the channel in Lucidius. They have gotten down their Greven with haste. Said that they are currently watching the Alila video, so hopefully they won't be too distracted. Greven decided to go in at Saheeli. And whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to its power, and lose life equal to its toughness. They're just getting some commander damage here because there is no other creature in play. A Collective Voyage. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of mana and search their library for up to X basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Well, that's going to ramp us quite considerably. Saheeli deciding to pay into it as well. Typically speaking, you don't pay into those things because Golos is going to have much more advantage there than any of us might. But it gets us into mana as well. We're going to go up by 5 here. And we've got a Zendikar Resurgent available to us, so we're not necessarily going to be worse off than Golos here. And it's better than anyone losing because they couldn't get their mana going. So I'm actually not against this Collective Voyage. And we will get a bunch of clue tokens for the landfall. So that's not nothing. The more plus counters we can have on our creatures, the better in this deck. Because we do have things like Colonian Hydra to double up plus counters and things like that. Now we can go in for Zendikar Resurgent, which I think is a good idea. We've got an Izzet and a Rakdos player, which won't be able to deal with enchantments all that well. Golos might be able to, but if they spend their turn playing a spell that deals with Zendikar Resurgent, then that's less things that they can do otherwise. So I think we go in for Zendikar Resurgence here. It's also noteworthy that we could have gone for Tooth and Nail, Entwined, but decided not to do that. We don't have Concordant Crossroads in hand, so it's not like we could go for the Crater Hoof Avenger combo, which is in this deck. And thanks to Zendikar Resurgence, the 3 visits is free. 2 mana to bring in a land, untapped, that will tap for 2 mana, so we might as well go for that. And then we will crack a clue token to put a counter on the Tireless tracker. And we'll draw a card, of course. Oh, Sylvan Library, that is actually worth getting into. Let's swing in first. We'll go in at the Golos player. And then let's crack the Misty Rainforest. The fetches are in here so that we can shuffle our library for things like Sylvan Library and Mirri's Guile. Alright, and I think it's unfortunate not to leave mana up for Evolutionary Leap, but I think we'll end up looking at, in fact we will end up looking at more cards with Sylvan Library, so it's better to go for that, I think. And we have emptied our hand somewhat now. What is that? Enchanted creature, when it dies or is put into exile, return it to the battlefield under your control. That's a really good one for Greven. Can he sacrifice himself? No, it's another creature. Just good protection in case someone wipes the board. Yeah, I never actually played with this card. That is worth remembering, because it is good wrath protection. Okay, Combat Celebrant coming in. Someone's going to be getting dealt a hell of a lot of damage here. And he draws equal to power as well, so haste on that, swing him for an additional combat step, and exert this. You might as well sacrifice it because it's exerted. Draw cards and lose life, equal to its power. And a Doomed Whisperer as well. They've still got mana from the Coalition Relic to put the boots onto the Combat Celebrant. And then Greven deciding to focus in on Saheeli, which might be because they're a blue player. And Greven might be worried about Cyclonic Rifts and things like that. The Combat Celebrant is going in at Golos, and that is exerted. Then Greven will no doubt sacrifice the Combat Celebrant here for card draw. They do go for that, so back up to 7 cards in hand. And this is going to put Saheeli at lethal commander damage because Greven is going to have another attack step after this. Unless, with the Doom Whisperer, they're going to pay all their life into buffing the Greven and take her out right now, and then take someone else out with the second main phase. Yep, so that is lethal commander damage on Saheeli. Let's see what's in the graveyard. There is a Mountain, Chromatic Lantern, a Mana Confluence, and the Combat Celebrant we already knew about. Saheeli goes down. Just showing off the power of Greven here. Then going in at the Golos player as well, and sacrificing the Doomed Whisperer, so that will bump him up to 21. And Greven has 13 cards in hand now. I'm guessing Golos goes down. Yes, 21 points of commander damage to either player. We could really use some haste now. Managing to shock in a Blood Crypt for the Swiftfoot Boots as well. And now we need to see if we can do something with a Tooth and Nail. Discarding a Silent Arbiter, a Hall of the Bandit Lord, a Basilisk Collar, Deadly Tempest, and a Lupine Prototype. Let's see if we can get into an answer here. Mirrored Landscape, Deep Forest Hermit, and a Mirri's Guile. Mirri's Guile is pretty useless when we've got Sylvan Library, so we'll put that on the top, keep the others. And I think we go in for our commander here. Oh, and I forgot about Zendikar Resurgence, so we end up drawing into that Mirri's Guile anyway. Well, we saved ourselves 4 life at least. Then we'll go for a Tooth and Nail. See what we can grab here. I think we could just go for Avenger and Craterhoof Behemoth, couldn't we? How much would we go up by? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands. Avenger would come in with 10 tokens, that's 11, 12, 13, 14 creatures, including Craterhoof. So that would be plus 14 to everything, I think. Yeah, number of creatures you control. Tireless Tracker would be on 18. Yeah, and then we crack the clue tokens. I think we can do this. I don't really like this combo, but we're up against a really powerful Greven player, so we're going to have to go for it. We've got Avenger, Craterhoof Behemoth. We play Craterhoof and Avenger from the hand. Then we want Craterhoof to resolve last, so it goes on the stack first. And then Yorvo will get a bunch of plus counters here, although it can't swing in. We get a load of plant tokens enter. Then Craterhoof Behemoth will trigger, bumping our Tireless tracker up to an 18-17. And then we just sack some clue tokens, getting into a couple of tap lands unfortunately, but I think we've got it. So we will just go through to our turn, swinging for lethal. Oh, we've got the Craterhoof actually, I forget that has haste, so yeah, we had it either way there. Didn't need to go for the clue tokens. And there we go, our friend of the channel going down to the rather played out and boring Avenger of Zendikar and Craterhoof Behemoth combo, but I don't really see what else we could have done in that situation because Greven Predator Captain is so powerful that you need to play the incredibly powerful combos against decks like that. I actually built this deck much more casually than this and then just kept getting hammered by players that have built very powerful decks on Magic Online, so I've had to go for things like Natural Order and the Tooth and Nail combos and stuff like that, so it is now a more powerful deck than it was. There's some jank in there like Deep Forest Hermit to put a load of plus counters onto our Yorvo, and the Concordant Crossroads and cards like that, but it was just through necessity that I added those more than anything because I kept getting stomped by players online. So hopefully you all enjoyed that game. If you want to see more Yorvo, let me know. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.